So hello, this is day 6 of the Improving My Speaking Skills Challenge. Now as you can see, I already have the pen in my mouth. Instead, it has been there for a little while, so it is being tough to keep it in for now. But I must continue. So, as I was saying, in this condition, actually wait a second. It is very hard. It is extremely hard to keep it for a long time. I don't know if it only is the case for me or it is something we all deal with, but something must be done. But in anything, what is to be done is to be done. So, first, I will say some basic tongue twisters to continue my speaking. So, she sells was she show. She sells was she show. She sells was she show. She sells, what a seashore. She sells, what a seashore. I guess I should be enough. Next. Betty bought a bit of butter. 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 Okay. These should be enough for now, but I will keep on looking for certain more tongue twisters which can carry same, which can target different kinds of annotations. Like these are for S and V, but there should be more like for W or for Y or similarly. You get the point. Okay, so if that is done, I'll be continuing with my topic today, for which I'll be speaking, and this is an interesting one. And I guess if you can understand it, then it will be great because it is something we deal in our daily life. This topic is known as the compromise effect. Now, this is a psychological and behavioral economics concept which is very interesting. So, get this. As per this effect, we humans have a tendency to always choose the moderate options when you are given three or more choices. So let's say you get things A, B, and C. This is extremely high, this is extremely low. The middle one is moderate, and that is why you will always choose that. Maybe not always, but in majority of the cases, the middle one will be chosen. There is some vocal clearance that is needed, but in any case, so as per the compromise effect, every time humans are given more than three choices, they have in many cases always chosen the middle option. This was repetition. Now this may seem like a thing which is you say, yeah, that is normal, that is nothing new. People tend to choose what they think is the most safe, because anything extremely bad is can be considered a low quality product, and anything extremely good can give you loss aversion or can give you the guilt of spending money. But anything in middle is safe, right? Anything which you buy which is of moderate gives you the quality and keeps the money. However, this is how market tricks you. You see, this has been a very prevalent concept in many marketing strategies, because they tend to trick you into thinking that the moderate option is actually better compared to both the extremes. Instead, it is not. Let's take an example. First of all, let me tell you the origin of this concept. It was in 1932 when Huber, Payne, and Puto did an experiment. They brought two cameras, one which was highly expensive and two which was of moderate cost as per those standards. So between these cameras, whenever a choice was put between anyone, the decision was always split. It was like almost 60-40, 50-50, or similar to that. But suddenly they brought a third camera, which was very cheap for the standards. Suddenly, everyone decided to shift their views from A or C to B, the moderate looking camera, which was not that all that costly and was a fine enough product for its price value. This shift was seen without any changes in any of the camera. B has been the same camera, A has been the same camera, C was the one new introduced, but no one tend to shift to that. Instead, people chose an option which was already present when they were given two options. But when the option became three, suddenly the interest in the moderate option increased. This is what defined to them the compromise effect. Now, how does the current market use it to fool us? That is a very interesting question, and this is the answer. If you know about Netflix or Prime Video or Hotstar or any kind of subscription, you know that there are always three options: basic, standard, premium. Yes, I am speaking in other terms of the free trial, but basic, standard, premium. Why are there three? There is no reason for having three. The reason is because basic is something which does not provide much. Premium is something that is too much for any household. So, of course, you end up with the third option. That is how this fooling is done. Let me give you another example. You go to a movie and you tend to buy popcorn with it, right? So, there are three options. There is the bucket of 150, the small bucket of 150 rupees, the middle bucket of 300 rupees, and the large bucket of 350 rupees. Now on the offset, it looks like medium is of course a good option because it is just a bargainable minus 50 rupees of the large, and it is not like small which will be too small, plus it is not as much as high as it was between the small and the medium. However, this was the trick, because you never needed large, you never needed medium, you wanted small. You tend to keep it too small. But after seeing these prices, your decision changed because you thought that medium seems like a better deal than having just one small. And that is how they trick you. You will never go to the extremes. You will never choose something which is too low or something which is too high. You will always choose something in the middle. Now, there has always been critiques that this technique should not be used in the market because, of course, it is something which is manipulating the customers without even them knowing. It is, in a way, infringing their freedom. But I don't believe so. However, I do believe in the fact that humans do not tend to go to their extremes, which is the reason that these effects come into play. I mean, if we were to actually the one to take risk and have the consequences, then we would never fall in such situations. And that is the difference, I believe. I mean, the taking I take from this particular effect is that humans tend to not go to extremes, which has been a very disadvantaged part for them. We always have had the tendency to go for the safer option, to go for something which keeps stable. Just like in a normal life, you go for a job just because you want to stay stable. You go for the basic schooling, which everyone says for you, because that is what everyone says, that is the safer option. You never take risks, you never go to extremes. You never think what would have happened if I have actually pursued my musical career. What would have happened if I actually finished that book and not just focused on my studies. Extremes are what defines actual successes. You can never go to success, you can never achieve success without choosing the extremes. So that is my taking of this. I don't know what your taking is. Do let me know. signing off.